Hello, football family. Welcome into Huddle It Up Films. Here we are, week one of the preseason 2025. Ravens football is here. Hopefully, this will be a long, successful season. We're going to be here live Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock all throughout the season. So, Ravens Wired usually runs at like 8 o'clock. We're going to come in at 9 o'clock, be all fired up from the great Ravens Wired episodes. And here we are. So, week one, a lot to talk about, some battles. A little spoiler with the player of the game banner down at the bottom. We're going to get to everything, and here to join me, had to bring in for week one. When you go to week one, you go to your go-to, you go to your best guy, you go to your right-hand man. And for me, that is Mr. Alec Polianis, formerly of One Winning Pod. He's the man. He's the man. As you can see by the setup, big house, nice camera, a lot of goodies in the background. Alec, I'm not going to waste too much time on my shenanigans, but how are you doing? And thanks so much. You know it.
Man, honestly, it's like one of those things. I was talking to the guys, and it's like we got a game this week, guys. Like, what we doing? So it definitely sneaks up on you, particularly when you're not doing content anymore regularly. But excited for it, man. I've been looking forward to this conversation all day. It's what I need in life right now, honestly.
Yeah, Alex stressed and from his work life here and overworked. You know, he's underpaid. He's got to negotiate a new contract.
Maybe I need to request a trade.
It's you. Yeah, it's you and Trey Hendrickson from the Bengals.
Wipe my socials.
Wipe your socials. Yeah, wipe them off of there, man. So I appreciate everybody in here and who will eventually come in and start filtering in as the season goes on. I love the comments driving the conversation. Cosmonauts already in here. So I can't wait to hear from all of you. TY, my guy, in here as well, as you see the new feature that StreamYard has where the comments come up. So I appreciate you, TY. Yeah, man, love when the fans drive the conversation in here. So let's start it off, man. Big news. Obviously, Lamar, Derrick Henry, a slew of other guys that we're not going to name aren't playing tomorrow. Two guys I expect to play, though, Mr. Malachi and the Green Machine. What do you think about the title, Alec?
I like it. I chuckled. You went through these right before the show, and there's some good ones in there. You got creative.
Yes. So Mr. Malachi and the Green Machine making their NFL debuts. I expect both of them to play. I think they need to play. They're rookies. That's been common in the Harbaugh era. Two important players for the Ravens, and you've got to like what you've seen from Mike Green so far. I mean, he's the second-round pick, but he's really stolen the show here with this joint practice against Indianapolis, and I expect him to show out this preseason.
Yeah, so I've heard. I heard he had like maybe 3 sacks in a row almost in the sequence, and it sounds like every time the level of physicality gets ramped, he comes with it. An exciting player, just an unbelievable talent in the second round. I think we're all excited to see him on the field, and of course, I mean, Starks. I've kind of fallen in love with this guy, similar to Ryan Mink, who like planted his flag notoriously early on Malachi. I remember when I was first looking into the draft, and I saw like number 8 Malachi on Brugler's top whatever list at that time. I just thought to myself, I think I told you, I was like, a safety highly ranked. Surely he'll be available later, in the draft, and it'll just be like, yet again we do that. And so like when I drew that together or whatever in my head, I was just excited about it, and then it became more and more rumored or more speculated that could be the route. And just exciting, right? Like, I think that's one of the fun things about fandom is when you just are excited to see what happens with somebody. And I think Malachi is one of the more exciting picks in a while because I think we have the fantasy of Hamilton. Like, it's not forgotten. It was just a couple years ago when we drafted him and what he brought to the defense. And you think about Malachi and it's like, can he bring even, 80% of that? That'd be incredible.
So, for me, I look at the scheme fit. And Malachi now is an obvious scheme fit over some of the other players who are available in that position. Like, I think Nick Emawari is going to be a fantastic player. Mike McDonald's got him up in Seattle. They'll use him like the Kyle Hamilton role. Expect big things from Nick Emawari. I was very high on him. But you look with Ardarius out for maybe the season now. Malachi Starks is more ready to go. He's got a head on his shoulder. He's playing in the SEC. played a bunch of different positions, but really took a step back in his last year there when they were asking him to play in the slot and play strong safety and man up and move around. Where you need Malachi is his smarts and his field vision in the back of the field to eliminate those big plays. So, when I'm looking at Malachi tomorrow, I want to see him. I want to see his reads. I can't wait to see the film, to see him process these routes and be all over on top of things, because it's not so much Malachi needs to be a superstar year one for the Ravens to be successful, but he needs to be a steady player. We cannot have breakdowns in the back end. So this is important time for Malachi Starks to get some live action against another NFL team in an 11 on 11, full take them to the ground type drill, different than even the joint practices, Alec.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, and these are the two players that are going to be the rare glimpses of starters, in my opinion. Like, I don't think we're going to see much of the starters otherwise, but these rookies, they tend to play them. I mean, I remember last year with Wiggins. Now, granted, he wasn't maybe a slated starter coming into the year, but I fully expect Malachi to play at least a drive or two. And I think, similarly for Mike Green, and I think too, like, what's kind of exciting from the Mike Green perspective for me is that I don't expect anything interesting out of the defense as far as schemed rushes or anything like that. So I think it'll be nice to just be able to watch his power and his bend just like on pure display. Like, what can he do just by himself on an island kind of thing? Like, nothing's going to be schemed up for him. And then similarly with Starks or Malachi, how well is he seemingly to understand the defense right now? How well is he communicating? Like, granted, it won't be Kyle Hamilton next to him, but who is he communicating with? Is he even taking charge of the defense without Kyle there? That's another thing I'm kind of curious to see. It's like no Rowe, no Hamilton. Like, who's directing the defense? And it could be Malachi.
Yeah, that the linebackers we'll get to later, but in the back end, man, I expect Malachi to be the deepest of the deep and to play 100% of the snaps. I want to bring in my guy Ty, and a shout out to the Flock Rundown. What is going on, my friend? Appreciate your support. We're gonna have the Flock Rundown on here sooner than later. So I'm gonna be reaching out to you, buddy, and get you on here for a nice collab, because man, that's what we'd like to do, and I need to get back to doing that. That was a staple when I first came on the show. Ty checking in. Starks is such a smart player. It's going to be interesting how he does playing deep safety in the preseason. I don't see him really playing the role on a week-to-week basis. Now, Ty is somebody that I talk ball with a lot on Twitter, X. If you're not following me, go over there and follow me. It's all football over there for me, with the occasional dad joke. But at Huddle It Up Films, could use some more people to interact with over there as always. But Ty, I think I'm going to split with you on this. I really think that Starks is going to be in the post playing quote unquote free safety more than anything else. I think Kyle is going to be the move guy. I think they have other players like Sanusi Kane, Bo Braid, whoever is going to be the backup safety when they want to go to three safety looks that they can use. I think Malachi is there to be that safety valve, and I don't think you want to put too much on his plate and move him around and have him struggle like he did at times in his last year at Georgia.
Sorry. Yeah, I agree with you. I think I anticipate the similar role to Malachi that you described there for Malachi. And I don't know. I mean, I kind of think that he'll be playing his natural role tomorrow. That's my expectation.
Well, what is his natural role?
I think he'll be like the deepest guy, like you said, giving Kyle an opportunity to be a little bit closer to the line.
Right, and it'll open things up, like the rundown is saying, to see Kane and Braid play together and also play off of Malachi. And hey, have to welcome back in Heather to the show. Heather, a staple in the Ravens community. You mean so much. I see you out there on other shows. It's great to have you back. We made it, Heather. By the way, I was thinking of you with the Desmond Watson situation. Don't know if you've seen him, but it was one of Heather's favorite players in the draft, the big old nose tackle, 400-pounder out of Florida. And he did not get drafted, but he signed with the Bucs. He's working on getting his weight down. So I'm not sure if you were following that, Heather, if you've been following with the situation down there. But I was every time I see an update down there in Tampa Bay, I think of you that because I know that was your draft crush. So Getting back to Mike Green, though, a lot of people I think are caught up on, will Mike Green, is he a starter? Is he coming off the bench? And Alec, it's way more complex than that. Of course, you have Adafio Way and Kyle Van Noy. They're going to play a lot. Mike Green's going to play a lot too. It's more which situations are they going to play? And what I would love to see from Mike Green is for him to be one of the four guys on the field, if he can earn this, to be one of the four pass rushers on the field when the other team has the ball and it's 3rd and 12, or when the other team gets the ball at their own 20-yard line and there's a minute left before the half and they're in pass-only situations, where Mike Green has earned himself a spot as one of our top edge rushers. And I don't think it's too far out of the question to ask this, because he is the most dynamic talent we've had at pass rusher in quite some time. And that's no disrespect to the double-digit guys that we're bringing back in Adafio Way and Kyle Van Noy, who can both win in a variety of ways. But Mike Green, with his power, is underrated. With the way his bend, it's elite. His ability to get off the snap is elite. He does these spin moves to the outside, Alec, which caught my attention big time in the draft. So most of the time, a guy threatens the edge, threatens the corner with his speed, and then he'll spin back to the inside to win. Well, this man will threaten with his speed, jab step to the inside, get the tackle to commit, and then spin around to the outside. It's just not a move that you see very often. So the bag of tricks to Mike Green, and for someone that was knocked on his power, his ability to stick his foot in the ground, he's only got 32-inch arms. So Mike Green's not long, he's not big and strong, but he's really strong. I shouldn't say that. He's not big, but he's really strong. Those 32-inch arms don't matter when he gets into your chest like a lightning bolt. These big, long tackles have their hands full with Mike Green. I'm just so excited to see the bag of tricks unleashed on these backup left tackles for these NFL teams right. Tomorrow in Indianapolis. I mean, he was beating the starters, so I can't wait to see what he does tomorrow.
Yeah, he could just blow up the game plan until they take him out, right? There's a chance that he's just too powerful. But, going back to what you're saying about him cracking into that starting role, I was thinking, I think there's 5 actual real starters on defense. Now, granted, there's people that you consider starters when you make a depth chart or whatever. But when you think about the rotational nature of a lot of those positions, you're getting 60, 70% of snaps if you're lucky.
By the way, did you the Ravens official depth chart that they announced, and Mike Green was 4th in the 4th string or something?
Dude, I never even look at those. I saw something was going around about RJ Harvey on the Broncos being the 5th running back behind these guys aren't even going to make the roster, and it's just it's not interesting. It's just hazing,
It sure is.
That's done. But like you said, no disrespect to Kyle Van Noy or Owe, they're quality players. It will just really be a testament to how well Mike Green's playing if those two guys are available and healthy and not lost a step or whatever, and he's still able to command that role would be incredible.
And can you see with Mike Green on the outside, and we've seen Owe rush over guards before. Yeah. So can you see a 4-man rush with Matabike and Owe in the inside, and then Van Noy and Mike Green on the outside, pinning their ears back before the end of the half?
Well, and Owe put on the weight apparently or whatever, and he's even more of a Greek god than he once was. So yeah, I mean it's all exciting stuff. Nothing we'll see tomorrow, but these are all things to wet your whistle and think about, particularly like you said, because you might actually see Mike Green. I hope that they put in their starting tackle, because otherwise, it could be a long day for that offense. I want to see Richardson actually have a chance.
The other thing I will predict tomorrow is that Mike Green is going to make a hustle play, because that's what he does. And in these preseason games, they're going to run the ball a bunch of times, so it's going to be overloaded with boring run plays. But when there are pass plays and there's a little breakdown or miscommunication on the offensive line, and both Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones can move. They're mobile quarterbacks. They roll out. You're going to see Mike Green chase them with his hair on fire. He's really the type of player that's going to endear himself to the fan base. The fans are going to love Mike Green. It's no secret to why he dropped in the draft. It had nothing to do with on the field stuff. So it's just, I'm really excited for the player. He was number 6 overall on my board, if you remember, Alec. I had him way higher than consensus. So big news, though, Alec, before you go. Okay. Heather, If she wasn't an MVP enough, she became a member of the channel. Thank you so much. Anybody who wants to support and become a member, I don't really promote it too much. I probably should, but it starts at like $1.99. So if you want to help me with my equipment, getting a new camera soon, as you can tell, Alex's camera is much better than mine. He gave me the recommendation for a camera. But Heather, really appreciate you, your energy, your enthusiasm all season, your knowledgeable takes, knowing guys in the draft like Desmond Watson who weren't on a lot of people's radar. You always bring something to the table. So I really appreciate that. Also need to give a couple more shout outs. I have Taurus. What is up, Taurus? It is great to see you back, my friend. It's football season. We are here. We are here. Chris in the house. Thank you, Chris. Lovely picture. Love the purple and black hearts there too. That's really cool. And Zhang joining us as well. What is up, Flock Nation? Good to see you in the house. Dwiz is here. Your Paso. So Dwiz, I'm going to be 50 years old next year. So I'm just gonna act like I know on the Year Paso. Okay, I'm just gonna act like I know. But it's great to see everybody else. You can DM me and let me know what your Paso is talking about. Keep me up to date. Keep me up to date. Also, just see my guy Jim 20 Eyes coming into the chat. Another draft guru right there. Jim, a writer, long time acquaintance of mine. Love this. Love seeing everybody in here. Justin Lewis. What up, guys? What is up, Justin? Great to see you. And Heather, with the donation, as usual, our MVP, as they say on the Purple Rain podcast, which is my brothers over there, making it rain. Heather, Alec, kick it to you on this. I like that we have D-Hop to go up and get those 50-50 balls. We need to use more 3 tight end sets. I love how Cornrow Kolar, I love that. Cornrow Kolar is looking. He does not have the cornrows anymore. But, yeah, he looked great in the practice with the team from Indianapolis, especially on that contested catch over the middle, taking the contact. 3 big plays from Charlie in that joint practice. So, love that we got D-Hop, 3 tight end sets. Kolar, how's he looking?
Yeah, man, we talked about it in the draft process how we might maybe try to trade Kolar and reset, but that was only because of the years of control and contracts and all that stuff. The guy's a baller. He's going to do well once he gets out of the situation or into a situation with the Ravens where he has a more opportunity to thrive, there might be now with the likely injury. D-Hop, yeah, I think what I saw last year is that he still got it, right? He's not going to be a top number 1 wide receiver, but what he does still bring is those 50-50 balls, body control, and honestly, it's just one of those things that Ravens fans really desire because we all have this fantasy, these purple tinted glasses of what Bolden did for us in the Super Bowl run, so we just always want that kind of thing. And D-Hop's going to be a lot of fun. Honestly, he's the piece of the puzzle that this team really needed. I don't think I liked what Nelson brought 2 years ago to the offense, but I think this is more what we need. And we have you can find Nelson at home, but you can't find D-Hop at home as easily.
You can't find, dude. One of my greatest, I wouldn't say greatest, but one of my most famous sayings is that alpha skills linger longer. And when I'm looking at free agents, those alpha dogs like Derrick Henry, like a DeAndre Hopkins, those Hall of Fame type players, like DeAndre Hopkins could be 45 years old, go out there and win a 50-50 ball. He may not be able to run routes anymore. He may not be able to take the contact. He may need to come out after one play. But you guarantee an older D-Hop is able to win the 50-50 balls out there. And we're really lucky to have him, especially with this likely injury, because I'm not sure about the more 3 tight end sets, at least until likely gets back. I kind of see D-Hop as that guy, the best hands on the team. Likely has the best hands on the team. Bateman has his strengths. Zay has his strengths. Mark, of course, is going to be Mark. Nelson Aguilar, not known for his hands, famously not known for his hands. But yeah, D-Hop, the 50-50 balls, and just when we get into the postseason, these games that count, he gives Lamar the confidence to be able to, he's not really open, but I don't have any place to go with the ball, and I don't want to take this sack, and I don't want to throw it out of bounds. I mean, it's 3rd and 10. We don't have to punt, he can throw it up to D Hop, and D Hop can bail the offense out. And I love that how he adds to what we already have and the route runners and the speed. Like D Hop is a really good piece for this offense. And before you go, Heather's in here, gifted 2 memberships. Definitely take advantage of that. When I put out the highlight videos and some of the other stuff, not only can you support the channel and help me keep up with the expenses, but you get early peeks at some of the videos that I put out for the highlights because, Alec, as you know, I do them one after another and put them out one a day, release them one a day. So you get them as I make them with the memberships there. No more slot phase to Nelly. And I heard someone had a comment in here about what the Ravens have to do to get over the hump to the preseason. So I find that, Alec, do you have any thoughts on, obviously it's, what do the Ravens have to do to take that next step? We're not there. We're looking way ahead. But what do you think that we have to do come playoff time?
Not joke. I mean, I feel like the last 2 years the team's been good enough to win it all. It just didn't happen because that's difficult and wrong mistakes at the wrong time. But I just like it gets me, it irks me when there's these conversations of like, oh, we didn't build the roster right, or like, this team was never good enough and all that. And it's just like, it's just not true. That's just like, I think it's just hard to win it all. Like, I don't know. Like, if you've watched the Ravens for long enough, you've seen this. Like, you saw 11, you saw 12. Like, it's one of those things, man. It's not championships handed on a silver platter. So they put together an amazing roster. It's the best roster they've ever put together. I say this apparently every year, according to my wife, but I insist.
She does say that.
I insist this is actually truly it. And like I told her next year I probably won't say that. There's a likelihood this will come to an end. But no, yeah. I mean the team's stacked. If they stay healthy, then there's nothing really stopping them other than themselves.
I'm with it. Yeah, just stay healthy, Zhang. Just stay healthy. And I got that one in on that conversation with your wife when she was giving you a hard time about saying the Ravens have the best roster. It's just, this is the year. I'm really optimistic about this year. Last year, I'm going in. I'm like, look, we're replacing Zeitler. We're replacing Moses. We're replacing, who is the third offensive lineman, our left guard. They all left. Yeah. 3 offensive linemen. How does Derrick Henry work with this offense? Had questions in the secondary. There were a lot of questions last year, a lot of moving parts. And I wasn't as confident, filling in with all the people we lost, like PQ. We lost Jadeveon Clowney. We lost Ronald Darby, all those offensive linemen. So I had some questions going into the 2024 season. Going into 2025, I have zero doubts about this roster. The continuity is rare. Think about all the star players, and now they're playing together again. All those players that lost that game in Buffalo are back. They're back to do it again. The revenge game kind of reminds me of those 2011 Ravens who pretty much all came back for 2012 and righted the wrong in New England. And you're talking about a motivated Lamar and Henry, Ronnie Stanley, all the defensive superstars from Marlon to Kyle to Matabike to Roquan, the edge rushers. They've all felt that pain. They're all back together. Last year was Zach Orr's first year as a DC. And that took some getting used to with how poor the safety play was last year and making adjustments. Kyle Hamilton's able to be freed up. So, man, Huddle It Up Films this time last year, of course, when I always like to take the sunny side, but I always keep it real too. And, last year I had questions, especially about that O-line. I just wouldn't stop talking about it. If we could be the third scoring offense last year and put up the points we did with the O-line last year, we're going to be able to do it again. And I feel like our defense is primed for a big season.
Yep. It's good when like the national pundits are even still saying that this team's, just like undeniable. So good times.
It is good times. Yeah. And TY still, we should have kept Zeitler. I still, that was the one that hurt. We got Faalele. Hopefully he can step up and take another step. So somebody else I'm looking for tomorrow night. Rocky Mountain rookie returner, some alliteration there with the R's. but I'm looking forward to LeJontay Wester out of Colorado. This is a big thing. I think that I want to see him make a play tomorrow. I want to see him, like what Harbaugh's talking about, just catch it cleanly. And let's be honest with ourselves, Alex. Like, Alex, the last few years, we've seen some pretty poor decisions from our punt returners, whether it's not coming up and rushing up and fair catching the ball and the ball hits the ground and bounces, 10, 15 yards backwards, or whether it's by the goal line, them not letting it bounce into the end zone. Just the decision making and the catching of the ball is the number one thing. So I want to see LeJontay tomorrow make some good decisions and get us field position. This offense doesn't need much. And if he breaks a big return, that would be great too. But I want to see the game not being too big for the rookie and for him to make those solid decisions as a punt returner. How about you?
Yeah, man, catching it under the lights, all that good jazz. That's important. Like you said, catching the ball and maintaining the change of possession is really the key to a punt. And like you said, you don't need to give this offense much. So I do find it important that we just have good decision making. Don't need to be sweating every time a punt is in the air, and that'll be very nice. And honestly, I'm excited to see his ability to catch passes too, because this is going to be one of the rare opportunities where he gets that opportunity to show those skills. And who knows if he gets a call during the season if there's injuries or whatnot. I don't expect him to become a undeniable person, right? Where like he flashes so much that we need to get him involved. I think there's other players already knocking at the door for that sort of opportunity. But
This year.
Yeah, this year. And I think if he's able to just really focus on being a solid returner for us, that would be huge.
Yeah, I mean, it really is a nice piece. And the field position is an underrated part of the game. I mean, if you give up 10, 15 yards in field position, that's almost like a penalty. You're just setting yourself back. It's not as bad as a penalty, of course, but you get the point. There's some talk in here I see in the comments about the O-line. And that is a hot topic. And, I would be lying to you if I said, oh, I got 100% confidence in the O-line. You see Heather here. Jason, I'm worried about the O-line season. Chris chiming in, if Lamar didn't always have to run for his life, it would be much easier. I mean, agreed. And I feel like, Chris, sometimes we take Lamar Jackson for granted as fans, and I hope the coaching staff doesn't. But he does what stuff that other quarterbacks can't do on the regular, to the point where there's a free rusher. Most quarterbacks are getting sacked or it's a bum play. Lamar's going to make the free rusher miss. I mean, if you look at the highlight video I put together of Lamar on broken plays, extended plays, it's ridiculous. The other team will have a free blitzer. Nobody picks him up. Lamar sees him before anybody else, spins away, and next thing you know, he's slinging the ball downfield. So I do think the O-line is something that we need to look for. I've been on record. I think Faalele and pass protection is okay. When Faalele wins, he wins big. He doesn't get moved. He'll give Lamar plenty of room to step up when he wins. The problem is when Faalele loses, he loses quickly. And in the run game, you can't ask Faalele to climb up and block a linebacker or to pull more than one gap or do anything with movement skills, even the stretch zone and stuff like that. Faalele has a problems executing that last year. And it really cost us in the run game early, Alec, to where I remember us talking week to week. We had to rely on old pitch the ball left. To run away from Faalele. I feel like he cost us, some run plays in the playbook last year, and I'm hoping that the lost weight that he did, the weight that he lost, helps him.
For sure. I think he's such a weird prospect. It's hard. It's a tough compare, but he's almost an alien to the guard position, like Lamar Jackson as the quarterback, right? Like he would, in a different way, obviously, not in an elite way, not in an elite way, but in a way that they win differently. And kind of going back to Lamar running for his life. There was this really cool video I saw today of how sometimes he scrambles to bait the defense, right? So he knows if he rolls, to the side, you might get the safety coming down to try to,
you got to pay attention to Lamar. That's right.
Yeah, and then he's like, gotcha, and then he throws it right over top of your head, and that's a touchdown, right? So he's a master manipulator, right?
Yeah, having Lamar really cancels out a lot of the bad plays that Faalele has. But Why are we settling for that? Like, you have your two best players on offense, Lamar Jackson, the best player in football, and Derrick Henry, who directly depend on Faalele for their production. They're standing right behind him. So yeah, the turn the hips comment by Chris is spot on. When we're running that outside zone and Faalele is not able to fire off, he's got to head east or west out of his stance to be able to get up out of his stance, turn his hips. He allows penetration there. And like I said, it seemed like at times last year, after the first drive or two, there were certain run plays that we just could not run. We had to run left. So that's still, Chris, I would just say, look at the numbers down at the bottom of the screen that we put up last year with Faalele. I'm hoping he takes just a small step up. There's nothing he can do about his skill set. He lost the weight, but we can be really good on offense again. And for Andrew Voorhees, untested, but that last game versus Cleveland, Alec, he was it's no stretch to say he was really good, maybe even a dominant game week 18 when he was giving McCary a break.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited to see more of Voorhees. I think we'll see him tomorrow, and I think we'll see Cleveland. I think we'll have a little bit of a battle there, but not much of a battle, right? They want Voorhees to win this.
They want Voorhees.
It's not because they dislike Cleveland even. It's just the years of control and all that good stuff. One thing I also just throw out there about Faalele, I was bashing him early in the year, right? And I think it was warranted at that time. But if he's so bad, he should be easily replaced, right? So, just keep that in mind. If you think he's really, really bad, then surely then we have somebody who can replace him, no problem, if it comes to that, right? Or maybe he does actually offer something. Who knows? So, yeah, I think we'll see a good bit of that, and I think we'll talk later in the show about other offensive line decisions because honestly, the offensive line is one of the most interesting places to find, or there's always interesting edge of the roster battles there, and particularly with some of their draft choices this year, it even becomes more interesting.
Let's get to it.
Yeah.
So one thing I found interesting from the joint practice is first team offensive line. We all know Stanley, Voorhees, Linderbaum, Faalele, Rosengarten. Those are your starting five. But when they brought the second team in, at center was last year's 7th round draft choice Nick Samac. Now they drafted Garrett Dillinger in the 7th round or 6th or 7th round this year. And there was talk of him moving to center to play that position. But evidently, Samac is ahead of him. And Dillinger was not in on the second team. As far as I could see, Ben Cleveland was running second team left guard, and then Dillinger came in with the third team. So this could be an end of the roster battle here for that last interior O-line spot. Garrett Dillinger versus Nick Samac. So it'll be interesting seeing what is the term order of deployment that you say?
Yeah. That's a Ken term.
Okay, our friend Ken McCusick, shout out. We'll have him on here soon. But yeah, when are these dudes coming into the game? Because the last guys to come into the game aren't making the roster. So they have 3 weeks to really turn that on, turn that up and turn that around and really try to move their way up the depth chart. But Dillinger for Samac, I can't call it. It's just going to be interesting to see how these guys play. And I thought Samac did pretty well last year with his opportunities before he got hurt.
Yeah, I think that the thing with Samac is he feels more limited to me, right? I think Dillinger has higher upside, and he also has more years of control. So I lean that way. But obviously, the proof's in the pudding and how they actually perform in these games. I'm really keen to see how they, let's say they bring out Samac. First, are they going to cycle him? Will he the lone sub? In the second drive, will they try to get Dillinger up there earlier, or will they flip that role in the second preseason game? And then the third preseason game is the actual, figure out who the person is, etc. Just playing the roster manipulation game in my head, I feel like you can sneak Samac onto the practice squad easier than Dillinger, just the bias of him being a year older. And I think also he was a prospect that he had those weak measurables that I think a lot of teams just didn't have him on his board.
Samac's a little smaller. A little smaller. Yeah.
Right. So I think there's less teams that would be even interested in his profile in the first place. So I think that I would give the nod to Dillinger, but I haven't seen the damn rep, right?
Right.
So we'll see tomorrow.
That's the curious part to me is that when you, like you were saying, when you look at it on paper, okay, Dillinger's got the extra year of control. Samac can probably make it to the practice squad. But then when I'm watching the stadium practice, which is the realest thing we've gotten to this point, it was Samac trotting on the field. Now, I'm not sure if that's just because, okay, Dillinger's really not that far behind, but they want to give Ben Cleveland that look at left guard for the quote-unquote competition that's really not happening. It's Voorhees' job. So is Dillinger really third string, or is he second string, but they're just giving Cleveland his work? Like, I could see an argument for both ways, but this will be a low-key, most fans won't care about this, but it's something that I'm looking for because, the Ravens are going to have a decision with whether they carry 4 running backs or whether they carry an extra offensive lineman. So these 2 guys are going to be fighting for their lives, and they're going to have to play well tomorrow. And I would like to see both of them get a chance against the best competition possible and not be playing in the fourth quarter of these games. Yeah, and Dillinger, he's from LSU, Zhang. He's it was a left guard. He was playing left guard at the stadium practice, a late round draft pick. He kind of has the Voorhees career path to where Dillinger is a really talented player and could be a future left guard for us. But he had problems with injuries, which is why he slipped in the draft. So he's healthy. When he's been on the field, he played really well at LSU. He was Emory Jones's teammate. And now with Emory Jones not looking like he'll be ready for the season to start, Dillinger and Samac really have an opportunity to make this team. And, given an injury, they may have to play. So that's the reason I wanted to talk about it real quickly here.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
You made the quip of this is something that fans might not care about. Like most fans, what do fans care about during the preseason other than football's back?
I think we want to see Keaton Mitchell. I think we want to see Mike Green and Malachi Starks.
Fair.
I'm kind of looking for Cooper Rush because the early reports on Cooper Rush weren't good, and now he's started to heat it up. I think he probably just needed to learn the system, but I don't know. Like we could be facing some big games, and if Lamar's banged up, it may give. We may have to go to Cooper Rush, and we can win those games with him. So yeah, it's just kind of curious. So, on to the next topic. Now, this is going to be a hot topic. I know people want to talk about these guys, David Ojabo and JAD. Last call. So obviously they play 2 different positions, 2 different people. But they're in the same situation, Alec, as both of them have had a hard time staying healthy. Both of them have the talent. Both of them have an extensive injury history. And they're in the last year of their contract, which makes it less likely to make the roster. The further you are, the less team control that the team has on you. It makes it harder for you to make the roster. So these are huge games for David Ojabo and JAD as far as getting out there playing, and making noise to have a chance to make this roster, because I have both of them kind of on the bubble. And with JAD, something else if you want to talk about, can he play safety? Could he be that 3rd or 4th safety? I know that reporters have talked about it, but of course I'm not out at practice. I don't see it. I don't know what's going on in the meeting rooms. Will he get any reps at safety and see if he can be a versatile piece to try to keep him around? 2 polarizing players in the Ravens flock here.
Yeah, they both have that injury history, maybe underperforming for JD. Ojabo definitely, right? But JD, it's a 4th round corner. Maybe that those can go a whole variety of ways. But everyone's saying JD is like the smartest, guy in the DB room, which just makes my head hurt a little bit. If that's true, then he must be a savant, right? We got some pretty darn smart corners and safeties there. But anyways, I mean, I anticipate him playing 100% safety snaps. That's my guess, right? Maybe that's an exaggeration, right? Because it won't be 100, but I expect a high majority of that, because that's the place where there's actually a competition, right? You look at the corners, and it's so stacked. They have 4 high-quality corners. You're looking at really role players. That's where it gets weird. And special teams. Can you expect JAD to be a crash test dummy on kickoff returns, especially now that there's going to be more returns? Do you trust his durability? But man, Alec, the coaches seem to love Jalen Armour Davis. They sure do. Yeah, and it's just one of those things, man. Like that's kind of what we're getting at. Like Ojabo is a player that should be on somebody's 53. It just might not be our 53 because we have a lot of edge rushers, and some of them are better, and some of them have more years of control, right? So I think that's like the hard part about Ojabo is that he could find a home pretty easily, but maybe not here. And JD might be a similar story. Now, corner depth is one of those things. Like he'll be playing somewhere by the end of the year. It's just a matter of where, and is it here? But yeah, I mean, like you said, man, you're thinking about special teams for both these players as well. And that's not what they were drafted for. I mean, maybe JAD doing stent, but Ojabo, no. Like Ojabo was, he was like, 15 on your board before he had the Achilles tear, right? Like, I mean, it's just like, it's a wild situation with him.
So somebody brought up, it might have been our guy TY, that Ojabo might be trade bait.
Yeah.
I mean, we're pretty deep in this room, especially if Mike Green is the real deal. I mean, Tavius Robinson has his role on this team, no doubt about it. You go with Kyle Van Noy and Away and Mike Green, Tavius, Adisa Isaac only in his second year. So even if you're not quite sure what you have in Adisa Isaac, you give him the heads up over Ojabo if it comes down to the roster bubble, because Ajabo's out the door after this year. And after this year, you still have 2 more years of Adisa Isaac. So Ajabo is going to have to really cement himself as someone who can help this pass rusher. Maybe he could be trade bait. What are we trading for? Maybe it's just a draft pick. Maybe it's some O-line depth. So we're not talking about Samac and Dillinger. Who knows? But this is a really important 2 guys who this game means a lot to. I mean, Lamar's going to be laughing on the sideline. Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, they're going to be having a great time over there. But Ojabo and JAD, this is money on the line for those guys.
Yeah, for sure. Because I don't know how many more auditions they're going to get at this point, right? It's so hard to get a second contract in this league, right? And they just haven't, due to injury or whatever, had the opportunity to really cement a reason for a second contract that's anything more than kind of the contract that Cleveland got, right?
A prove-it deal. Right.
Like they're like, okay, 1 year, vet minimum, whatever. Like we think you could do something, and then we'll reassess in a year,
Ojabo really bums me out because you remember, I think it was like his first 3 or 4 games he played, even with the injuries that he had. He had like 3 sacks. He strip sacked Burrow twice out of those 3 sacks, I remember. I think once was in the playoffs, that Tyler Huntley game. And you just saw that Ojabo had something to his pass rush. And then I believe it was 2 preseasons ago, 2023, where he came out and he just didn't look right. And we're wondering, well, maybe he's just bull rushing. He's just taking it easy. You don't want to show anything for the regular season. And no, Alec, that was pretty much what you got. Like the explosiveness did not look like it was there from Ojabo. That just force off the edge that we saw at Michigan.
He got hurt again, right? Like it wasn't like there was the original injury, there's the other injuries. Yeah, he's a super duper sad story. I mean, it's just tough to watch, honestly. And I mean, that's the big thing, right? Like, I mean, the coach speak again. They were talking about, he's working really hard. Like, it's insulting, whatever. And then, I mean, I don't doubt it, right? I think that these guys do work really, really hard. I just don't know if he still got it. Like, I mean, it's sad to say for a 23-year-old, 4-year-old, whatever it is, be like, I don't know if he still got the juice, but he has a lot to prove. And it's super duper sad. Like you said, the strip sacks, like he flashed it, right? He made us not remember about Pickens, for a little bit. And then, he's kind of falling off a cliff.
Dwiz, this is a great point. And I looked this up after we tagged him. He's asking Ojabo. We marked him down as an international player. So kind of like this trick to the rule book, since Ojabo is from London. I think he was England. He obviously was born in Nigeria, but I think he moved to London. That we're using an international tag on Ojabo. But Dwiz, I believe that only allows us to carry 91 players instead of 90. So once you cut down to that roster spot, it's got to be 53. So no, he can't. We can't use a loophole to get him on the roster on the 53. It's for the 90-man roster that you see right now in camp. So it's a great question. But yeah, I definitely looked that up because I would love to keep Ojabo around just because of what I've seen in the flashes. I mean, I know we're stacked at edge rusher. We look good at edge rusher, but when Ajabo's on, his knack for strip sack and just finding the ball and making those game-changing plays, he's just got that it factor. We just haven't been able to see it the last couple of years.
Yep.
And JAD is somebody said in the comments, him just being on the team this long is a testament to him. And I agree. Like the coaches see something in him that I haven't been able to see, honestly, to keep giving him chances. Obviously, JAD has the height. He has the speed. I worry about his play strength. You've seen AD Mitchell yesterday push him around a little bit. But a talented guy. I'm just like, when I'm looking at my core special team player and backup corners, I just don't see JAD being that physical guy that I can trust to, cover these kickoffs at high speeds all year. And so that's going to be interesting. Though, hey, one of your guys here, this is something that you wanted to talk about, Ruben Lowry. Now, Ruben Lowry, an undrafted free agent, comes to the team as a cornerback, and he's been running with the safeties. And his name keeps getting brought up by Cordell, keeps getting brought up by Jeff Z and the Ravens beat reporters as somebody who's flashing. So I can't wait to see Ruben Lowry tomorrow. Obviously, Bo Braid, Sanusi Kane look like they have inside tracks for that third and fourth safety spot. But there is a spot out there. So at safety, you have the four. You have Kyle, Malachi Starks. You have Bo Braid, Sanusi Kane. They should make the team. At inside linebacker, you have Roquan, you have Trenton Simpson, you have Jake Hummel, the veteran who's been playing backup Mike, and of course you got Teddy Buchanan, the rookie fourth rounder out of Cal. Behind those 8 guys, there's probably one spot for either a fifth safety or a fifth inside linebacker, and it's really going to come down to how they play on special teams and what they add to the field. But it's really, although it's about special teams, if Ruben Lowry comes out there, Alec, and has a couple of picks and looks really good at free safety, we don't have depth at that true free safety position. And I don't think the Ravens want to put Kyle Hamilton back there again and lose his playmaking ability. So I think Ruben Lowry, if he plays okay on special teams, but picks a ball off, breaks up a few passes at free safety, he can find his way on the team. And I know very little about Ruben Lowry. So I'm really looking forward to him battling not only the other safeties, but guys like Jay Higgins and Chandler Martin at inside linebacker, who is going to make these plays and prove that they're worthy to play on special teams and be backups on this team. Big games for them.
Truly, yeah. I mean, to me, I think Lowry is a high chance to be over Braid. Like, I mean, I think he could really cement himself onto this roster and maybe even make the decision somewhere else. But yeah, I anticipate. I mean, like a true degenerate. Like this is what most excites me, right? Like the guy I didn't know about at all, that wasn't drafted, that is making sparks, and making names for himself during camp. That's who I want to see during preseason. So hopefully he can do it against the higher level of competition and the real game mechanics. But I'm super stoked to watch him. And then you talked about Higgins and Martin. Excited to watch those guys too. Now those I can't help but be like put my GM hat on and think like who can I sneak, right? And I feel like the linebackers might be a little bit easier to sneak. So that's part of the reason I would lean towards Lowry, and also just like I think like the quality of your secondary play matters so much more than the quality of your linebacker play when you start talking about like this replacement level. Like there's just
right,
like just I can't deny that, right, or look over that fact. So
right, because a free safety leads to big plays, touchdowns, 20-yard plays.
Well, and also like go find a free safety on the open market. Right? Like they don't exist. You can find a middle linebacker. You can find a guy that like allegedly can be that and a strong safety, but they're not. If he can have true free safety skills, like he's on the roster. Right. He's on the roster. Like it's over. It's like us carrying Vincent for left tackle. Like if he has even the chance of filling into that spot, he's gonna probably get a roster spot over a utility linebacker.
Agreed. And then, with Jay Higgins, it was all about his 40 time. He was a tremendously productive college player, but I believe Higgins ran in the 4.8s. And Chandler Martin is 5'11. He's listed, I think, at 5'11. Man,
Yeah.
looking at Chandler Martin out on the field, my goodness, bro, like he looks 5'9". Like it's like, and I'm not a big height guy. I think players come in all shapes and sizes. Darius Washington's 5'9". He's great. Look at Zay Flowers. Look at Keaton Mitchell. You don't have to be 6 foot tall to be a great football player. But a middle linebacker who looks like he's 5'10" out there. Like I remember Sam Mills back in the day. Any old heads out there, the old Saints player, Sam Mills. Can't remember his name, but he had a cool nickname. Like it was like the groundhog or something like that, where he was like so low to the ground. Field Mouse. Field Mouse was his name.
Oh yeah.
Nickname. Yeah, but it's kind of tough to see. So I do agree. Long way of saying you could probably sneak Higgins and Chandler Martin to the practice squad. Whereas if Ruben Lowry shows out, not only is a free safety very valuable, not only do we need safety depth on this team, but he can actually be a part of this defense and make the team.
I mean, you could. There's a role, like in my opinion, with the JAD or not JAD, sorry, with Ardarius' injury. There's a hole, and like yeah, we're like, oh, we'll just play Malachi, right? Well, what's your third safety if you're doing a 3 safety look, right? So I think like there's a position here. I wouldn't even be shocked if we bring in a vet, at the last minute. So I think there's a huge hole here for someone to show out and say they're worthy, be it JAD, Lowry, or someone else. And apparently Sanusi Kane's been like showing out in practice. So
Dude, Sanusi Kane just knocks out anything he hits.
yeah.
Sanusi Kane's on this team, bro. He reminds me of Bernard Pollard.
Yeah.
Like it's a total crash out every time. And I hope I'm allowed to use the term crash out. I hope I haven't aged out of that term, but I like crash outs. Sanusi Kane's a crash out guy. By the way, he looks like he's like 35 years old.
Does he
40
really?
years old. Yeah, man. You ever seen Sanusi's face? It's pretty hilarious. Some Teddy talk though, bro. Teddy Buchanan. Teddy Guns. Teddy Big Guns, as Chris calls him. He is going to be my choice, okay, for player of the game on defense. Have the player of the game segment. I'm going to say the easy choice on offense is Keaton Mitchell.
Yeah.
I think Keaton Mitchell plays. I mean, we only have we only have so many running backs. So I think Keaton will get a few touches at least. Keaton's going to be my player of the game on offense. And with all the running plays that we're expected to see and big guns, Teddy's like nose for the game, his instincts, I think Teddy's going to make some big plays tomorrow. So what do you think about, before you give your picks, what do you think about my picks, Keaton Mitchell, Teddy Buchanan as my players of the game?
Yeah, I mean they're cop outs, they're lazy. I mean Keaton Mitchell's like the laziest pick on the planet. I agree with you. Like that would have been my choice, but I was gonna say it was too easy. But you were like, I like easy, Nah. Anyways, for me, if I'm gonna get a little bit off the beaten path, I would say it's gonna be Kohler. I think he might have enough snaps and just be like too good for out there. You know what I mean? On offense. If I had to go a little bit deeper cut, a guy that might not make the roster but might show out, look no further than Keith Kirkwood, right? Like he's been a preseason darling before, and I think he'll do it again. He's already showing out on the stadium practices and stuff. I fully anticipate him, fucking just getting some jump ball in the end zone, and it's like, oh man, here we go.
Yeah, Kirkwood's a good player, man. Kirkwood is a really good player. I'm also really interested to see Billy O'Connor tomorrow. The Kone versus Roger Longerbeam out of Rutgers battle for a potential last corner spot, battling in there with JAD, of course, is really interesting because Longerbeam, if you guys don't know, has missed the last few days of practice. So doubt you'll see Longerbeam tomorrow. So this is a chance for Billy O'Connor, who's 6 foot tall, runs in the 4.3s, to really, you worry about his physicality and his build. He's built like me, which is more like the letter I, not avocado shaped, as I see in the chat there. But yeah, Balil Kone, big game for him. I would love for him to be the player of the game.
And I just have to say this, like another guy, like if on defense, I want to watch Lowry. I want to see Carson Vincent on offense. Like I care so much about these reps from him because I keep hearing that he's like completely not ready, and I want to see how not ready he is. Because he feels like he's going to be on the roster, right? He will be the most not ready player on the roster, almost for sure. So I want to see how not ready he is.
So I don't know. I tweeted this out, and I'm going to bring up another tweet, but something tells me that Carson Vincent is going to be better than what fans are thinking and what the reputation you just painted is. Because when I saw Carson Vincent in the Senior Bowl, he looked very under control. And when I saw Carson Vincent in that stadium practice, the preseason reps going against some of our edge rushers that were deep in, Carson Vincent did not look overwhelmed.
Sure.
He's just a big guy with good feet, and he never panics. Like I feel like you could put Carson Vincent in at left guard, and he might not have the mind for it yet, not understand the blitzing and everything that happens so quickly. But you never see Carson Vincent panic. And I thought that maybe that was because, okay, he plays at Alabama A&M. He's not facing the SEC rushers. Of course, he's under control. The talent isn't as good there as it is in the SEC. But even at the Senior Bowl and facing the Ravens pass rushers in camp, I thought Carson Vincent looked really under control.
That's awesome. And yeah, I mean, honestly, dude, like tackle play is one of the biggest drop-offs during the preseason. So the bar isn't like extraordinarily high for how good he needs to be in order to be like, an adequate tackle for preseason play. But yeah, if he shows out and shows competent, like that's going to be huge for his development.
Yeah. So did you want to give your players of the game?
I got to give you a player of the game for defense, and I can't pick Ruben Lowry because he's my guy and I already like gushed about him. So, and you took Teddy, which is a good.
I took Teddy.
Yeah. Good option. I'm going to take Aeneas Peebles because it would just be fun if he Fub. It'd be fun if Fub just disrupted a lot, and I liked his profile during the draft. I was stoked when we drafted him. So yeah, I think that'd be fun. So that's my player.
The Ravens, dude, they surprised me a little bit in this draft. If you think about it, the Ravens are big on size, and they went in day 3. They drafted Aeneas Peebles, Fub, undersized, lightning quick defensive tackle who can really, you're not going to ask him to 2-gap and hold down double teams against the run, but he can get into the backfield. Then they drafted LaJohntay Wester, obviously undersized, lightning quick returner, slot receiver. Then they drafted Roger Longerbeam, an undersized corner who profiles in the slot. So the Ravens on draft day surprised me on that day 3, Alec, where they didn't draft these big guys who, can't move very well, but are just, Ravens big.
Yeah. The Ravens, their day 3 is always scout day, and it can get weird. But there were some picks that I'm quite fond of, and people's probably not number 1 on that list.
So I'm interested to see who you guys got for player of the game. If you want to drop that in, I'm also going to share a screen because this actually got a lot of attention on X. I posted this. Some of you guys probably in there and already responded. Let's see how this comes up. Okay, not too bad. Let me see if I can take the comments off for a second. Actually, the comments are fine.
You should get rid of our messages, though, man.
Okay, let's do that. Thanks, man.
Everyone's like, "Oh, Alec was tired beforehand." It's true.
That's fine. So, curious if any of you would like to see Lamar and the starters play 2 to 3 drives in the preseason finale. It's a no for me. Even if Lamar wanted to, it's not worth the risk. And I don't think they'd be that much better off or much more in sync the opening drive in Buffalo. The reason why I brought this up, Kevin Ostreicher from Locked On Ravens tweeted this quote from Harbaugh in his press conference. John Harbaugh says Ravens starters won't play in Thursday night's game, preseason opener versus the Colts. However, he said the team would take the next game as they go. So not exactly, Alec, your now our starters aren't playing like we've seen the last 2 years. Harbaugh leaving the door open, kind of seemingly, for the Ravens to play their starters. And I asked if anybody would be down for this, and not surprisingly, because you can find any opinion on Twitter, some fans were definitely up for having Lamar and the starters play a few drives later in the preseason. Where do you stand on this? And I want to read some of the comments that we got.
When you have a house party or something and someone drinks too much, you take their keys away, right? You hide them and you say, you can't drive. Similarly, we take Lamar's pads away, we take his helmet away, we say, you can't play. Like
hide Lamar's helmet.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big no for me, dog. Like we were not a in 23, we're not an AFC Championship game away from like, if they only got like 2 preseason snaps, like it really would have. That was what we missed. It's just a nothing burger.
And then for me, like if they get 2 to 3 drives, what's that going to do for them?
It's going to do nothing, dude. Honestly, like it's right. Like you have to like think about the whole league, right? And you can say, but that's you zig when they zag. The first 4 weeks, like all of September is preseason for the damn starters. Okay, like that's like the truth of the matter. The teams are finding themselves. No real football is played until Thanksgiving. I know all the games count the same, but no real football is played.
Alec, don't say that. Do not say that.
It's true. It's like that's when like the teams really start to separate. Is after Thanksgiving. I truly believe this.
I mean, yeah, but you're going to tell me this week
when they reach their final form.
This week one game means something.
It does because the NFL they're schemers. Okay, they're over here. They put the toughest matchups in the beginning, right? And they save the divisional stuff for the end, and it's just to create this imbalance or the parity throughout the league. I'm very adamant about this. Like, there is a reason that we play the Chiefs in the first 4 weeks of the season every year. There's a reason that we're playing the Bills week 1. And there's a reason why we always play like the back half of the year, all these divisional games. Like it's all intentional. And it's just like master parody making by the NFL. Somebody's going to be a 0-1. Somebody's going to be 1-0 after the Bills game. Some fan base is going to have to go into a deep depression because they lost the first week and they didn't look good or whatever. And it's all for the clicks. It's all for the narrative. But like,
you can't help it, bro. Like the football season it's a soap opera, man. It's a soap opera.
And for what it's worth, like as much as I'm like making a joke out of it, like when we lost week 1 to the Chiefs, I was like, well, the 2 seed sounds nice, right? Like, I mean, it was a huge game from the playoff standings, and it's kind of goofy in a way because these teams look completely different come Thanksgiving time, right? Like they're still trying to figure themselves out. So it is what it is.
So we got some berry talk and some avocado talk in the comments here. Now, Alec is a chef, not an official one. But Alec Polianis can cook. The hoagie master himself is a way he makes a mean sandwich. Thoughts on avocados and berries? They're all yes for me. Anything that's natural, for some reason, I kind of like it. Like fruits, yeah. Vegetables, yeah. I'm kind of that. There are foods that I don't like. Anything that grows from the ground, I'm down with.
I love fruit. It's my favorite thing to eat. I eat fruit like junk food. It's like, I'm like, I want something to eat. Like I pop an apple, right? Or whatever. Like I'm like, let's have a banana. Let's have now. And in the summer, you got the S tier fruits and like plums and nectarines and peaches and stuff. Like, really the seasonal stuff. I mean, it's a beautiful time of year.
And then Maryland tomatoes too, man. There's nothing like them. Nothing like
dude. The tomato, what a great fruit. Like,
wait a minute. Avocados from the devil. Uh-oh.
Oh, man.
Well, that must be my bad boy side. I don't know.
It's a wild take. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, Chris is going to have to educate me on there. You send me a DM on Twitter and you like explain this to me, Chris. You don't have to be afraid. I'm a married man. But you DM me and let me know why avocado is from the devil, bro. That's. I feel like that's a strong statement, Alec.
It's one of the strongest statements I've heard today. I mean, it's pretty out there. I need to know as well. Don't just DM Jason. I need to know about this too. Heather,
also a fan of seeds and nuts. Good to know, Heather. Good to know. And thanks again for gifting those memberships. So, okay. So Krista says she's not on Twitter. That's okay. I'm sure I'll catch up on it soon. So again, I just wanted to touch on this because, bro, anytime you get 3 likes and 20 comments on a tweet, It's usually not good news for you, Alec. It usually means people are mad. But for this particular case, I said, no, I don't want the starters to play at all. Why is Harbaugh even saying we'll take it game to game? So I wanted to read some of the comments that I got because I thought they were funny. At my Lakers, Lamar has done more than enough for him to stand on the sidelines. He's been consistent, getting better each season. Yeah, I know, but that wasn't the point. What if Lamar wants to play? What if Lamar comes to you, Alec, and Derek and the rest of the guys, and they're like, Coach, we need a few drives to get ourselves going. So when we come week 1 in Buffalo, we're ready. We cannot afford to start 0-2 again, Coach Harbaugh. We want to play. What if your franchise quarterback and leaders of the team come to you, Alec, and they're like, we want to play week 3 preseason for 2 or 3 drives. We want to go out there, score a touchdown, and come out the game. You standing strong and telling them no?
Yeah, because I mean, it's silly to me. Like, there's no defense they're gonna play. Like, what is it? The Commanders, right? Is week 3 or is it the Bucks? I don't care.
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. They could be playing. They could be playing the Eagles for all I care, right? Like, there's no defense they're gonna play in week 3 of preseason that can give them the level of intensity that our unhinged Ravens defense can give in practice. If you really, really need some reps, like, let off the Governors and let those two guys.
But Coach Harbaugh, we want to play a different scheme. We want to play against,
But you're not going to see that in the preseason. There's no scheme in the preseason.
You're not going to talk to Lamar like that. You can talk like that on this show.
I would talk to Lamar like that. Like, I mean, you gotta be, it's just respectful. Like, you know this, Lamar. Like, they're just going to play nickel. It's not going to be interesting. Like.
Yeah. Our buddy Ravens fan 86. Nope, juice isn't worth the squeeze. He says I would march those O-line asses out there to figure out the cadence. That's pretty funny. Yeah. So Mike,
gate, man.
Cadence gate. Our friend MC Michael Crawford from Deep Cover Pod posted this when his answer. Do you want to play the starters, Michael Crawford?
No. No.
That's hilarious. That's so funny.
Before we get copyrighted or something. The MC made me smile. Ablet says it seems less important considering they have 2 joint practices. That's fair. Our guy Sutton Death, best friend of the show. I disagree. Sutton says he would think a few drives of live action will help the starters get reacclimated to full game speed, and he believes it will decrease the penalties early in the regular season. Yes, it's risky, but we got 17 full games of risk, only asking for a few drives. So Sutton's one of those guys that thinks if Lamar wants to play a few drives, let him play week 3. Hub, not Lamar, but wouldn't hate seeing the O-line go out there for a drive or 2. Dan saying injuries are so random, and in that sense, it's odd to be scared of injuries. So he'd be in favor of playing them. Most of the people in here, our guy TY, they should, but they won't. I just don't want them to come out slow like usual. We can't afford a slow start. It's a gauntlet for the first 6 weeks. So that's directly from our guy TY in here. He's feeling like, hey, it wouldn't be too bad if the starters played a few drives.
Yeah. I'm pretty adamant about it, man. There was nothing more disappointing than watching JK go down. And for what it's worth, like, you don't want to anchor yourself to those, anomalies, right? Like, I mean, for what it's worth, like, yeah, the injuries are like random and rare, but I look, they're going to get rid of a preseason game. Okay. We're going to have 18 games soon. They're going to get rid of a preseason game. This is inevitable. The NFL doesn't want these preseason games. They just don't. Like, it's just not going to be it's not going to be a thing, guys. Like, it's going to, sooner the preseason will go away than that being like what makes your team ready. I think there's something to be said about like progressive disclosure of the team. Like, expecting them to be fully ready by week 1 is not like the way to build a team. And to just be like, we're going to focus on these things for week 1. Right. And like and not only do you just gradually like increase the playbook and increase the complexity of the team, but it also just like is realistic for this group's going to play better by the end of the year than they do at the beginning because of continuity.
Okay, yeah, I seen Chris, by the way, trying to send Jason to the principal's office. Yeah, I know Jason Z. Okay, My fault. My fault. We got too many Jasons up in here. But I have been to the principal's office, and I did get written up one time for not delivering a package when there was a fox outside. Now, it was a fox outside during the daytime. There are foxes around here. I see them when I walk my dogs. It's no big deal. They're curious, whatnot. But if a fox is out at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I think it was, and he was following my mail truck, I wasn't delivering that package, bro. Like, those are nocturnal animals. They're not supposed to be out in the daytime. I wasn't taking any chances. And yeah, a lot of good the union did me at the post office. I got written up. They had to come up, union rep and all that other stuff. And they still wrote me up. I took a picture of the fox too, had it on my phone. So yeah. So yeah, that's my anti-union story. A lot of good they did me. So Alec, the last thing I want to talk about here, and this has nothing to do with tomorrow, but I like the feel of this game. I like this team. I like Jair Alexander addition a lot, not just from a talent standpoint. You saw Nate Wiggins get a little froggy with, just coming up, scuffle-up-a-guess, bro. Getting in there, scuffling. I just love the feel of this team from a leadership standpoint, the mix of young veterans like your Lamars, your Matabikes, your Kyle Hamilton coming into his own. This isn't like the Steelers have with a bunch of over-the-hill type players with their veteran leadership and good young players. Feels like this team has got some highly talented rookies, some really good role players, some leaders. They got some quiet guys who just go about their business, some grinders like your Tavius Robinsons of the world, like your Roger Rosengardens of the world. Don't say much, tough as nails, consistent, but they also got that swag back. We needed it, bro, with Jair Alexander to add to Marlowe. And Nate is quiet, but he is a fiery player, physical. I like the makeup of this team, both offensively and defensively. It's part of the reason that I'm high on the team is not just the talent, but it's like the intangibles. You got everybody coming back and the mix of personalities on this Ravens 2025 team. I just love it. I can't wait to see them play football tomorrow.
Yeah, they got the right mercenaries for sure. Jair and D-Hop, I think they bring that presence. That will be very nice for the long term. One thing that I like about the team and the overall makeup right now is that they're keeping it simple. There's been a lot less chatter about Super Bowl. I feel like they're acknowledging that they need to take, week by week, just like get better. And I mean, it's not like they don't normally talk about that, but I just think they're acknowledging they cannot be worried about the playoffs right now. They need to be worried about playing their best football and becoming the best team, and then that will sort itself out later. And that's good because, as someone who deals with anxiety, right? You can worry about how you're going to perform in the playoffs, and then you're just going to worry more because you're going to worry about it again when you get to the playoffs, right? You'll just worry twice. So, just don't think about it for a bit, Just focus on your craft, focus on being the best team that you can be, and then we'll cross that bridge when it comes.
You can only control what you can control. And that's great life advice. And it takes us all, we're all guilty of worrying about things that are out of our control. I do it all the time. Football's out of our control, but it's a fun worry for me. But talking about some more serious life stuff, you worry about serious stuff going on. But really, for those of us that have faith, you put it in God's hands and you pray for the best. But the Ravens, as it relates to this Ravens team, they can't worry about the playoffs. They can't win in the playoffs right now. They have to worry about themselves, get better every day, eliminate the mistakes. Look, let's worry about what's our obstacle now. Maybe it is the cadence, Alec. We laugh about it, but let's get the cadence down. Let's be complex on that. On defense, let's make sure everybody knows their assignments, and let's make sure that if something happens in game and somebody has to play a different position, they can. If you got to move from corner to safety in game because of an emergency, let's do it. If you got to play tackle in emergency, let's get our guys ready. So controlling what you can control. And for all the complaints I have about Harbaugh, and of course, he's been our coach for so long, I'm not going to love everything that he does. He does have a good pace about him for the season. It's the postseason where I want to see some changes. I'd like to see Lamar get taken care of better, and I'd like to see Lamar just settle down and play his game and not do anything uncharacteristic. And it's time for other people to step up in the playoffs early and to get leads in these games. So, I mean, again, this is all stuff we can't stress about now. For tomorrow, I just want to see Ravens football on my TV. I just want to see good health. And I want to see some guys make a name for themselves and make themselves some money.
Yeah, man, I love it. Jason here saying that, Lowry's going to be safety 3. I like that energy. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it too, man. I'm excited to see what product they put out there. And, yeah, it's going to be a good time, man. And it's crazy too. Like, I was talking to the guys about it. We got this home preseason game on August 7th, and then we don't have a home game again until September 14th. So it's just like, fire up the stadium once, and then it gets another month break. Keep doing your renovations or whatever.
Yeah, and there's Jason Z. What's going on, man? Hey, you can just say Jason in the chat. It's all good. A lot of people call me Huddle, so that's fine, man. Glad to see my guy Jason Z. Been with me a long time too, man. So it's great to see you. Nice little setup there, bro. I have to check out the picture later. Yeah. Any final thoughts, Alec, on tomorrow? Like I said, I'm just praying for good health, looking for good health, and I would like to see some guys make their mark. I think Teddy Buchanan is going to be the player that we're talking about on Friday with all these run plays and simple blitzes. I think Teddy's going to rack up some tackles and get valuable experience from him. And, a kind of an underrated battle. I think that they want Trent Simpson to be the guy. And experience is very important at linebacker. You don't want to get fooled too much. But, hey, man, I feel like Teddy's got a chance to he's ahead of the curve. He is a naturally smart player. Trent is physically gifted. I would say Teddy is the more instinctive, what's the word I'm looking for? Not surreal, but cerebral player. Teddy is more cerebral.
Yeah, I could buy that. I think we haven't talked about it, but it'd be cool to see Tyler Loop bang some field goals, and in the stadium lights again, stadium wins, whatever. I think that'll be nice too. But honestly, man, just good health, no injuries. That'd be beautiful. It's really all he can ask for in a way.
So with that, I want to say thank you so much, my football family. I love seeing the chat like this. Hey, join us on Wednesdays at 9. They said Ravens Wired usually runs from 8. I thought about starting the shows at 8:30, but sometimes that runs a little close for the bigger episodes. The Ravens Wired will run a little later than that. So 9 o'clock, we will be here. I just want to say thank you to everybody in the chat. Appreciate Heather so much with the donation and then also gifting the memberships, Alec. So TY became a member. I have to go back and look. The chat was just lighting it up tonight. Appreciate y'all, man. No ads on this channel. I keep it ad free. I just want people to join in. And I can't wait to have more stuff to talk about. We get into the regular season, man. It's going to be on from week 1, Alec. Buffalo right off the top. Joe Flacco coming to town week 2. Detroit on Monday Night Football week 3. At home, at the bank. And then at KC in week 4. And then the game I'm going to, y'all, if you want to catch up, Houston, week 5, late breaking news. I will be in the box. Me and my epileptic self will be in the club box so I can go see this future Super Bowl champion 2025 Ravens team play. I'm making a proclamation right now. I am going with my guys this year. So if anybody wants to meet up for the Houston game, that's the one I'm going to. But I really appreciate you guys.
Dang, dude, I got to adjust my calendar now and circle that Houston game. Well, I'll definitely want to see you. That'll be good.
Yeah, Heather, talk this man into coming back. He knows he's welcome. He knows he's welcome.
Look, if we just record every conversation we had, Jason, and just post it on the internet, they get plenty of me, right? We talk a couple times a week. It's just a matter if it's on the show or not.
And I can't give you a hard time because you got a beautiful baby girl over there. Well, she's not a baby anymore, I guess.
She's a toddler.
Wonderful wife. Alex's wife is a doctor working crazy long shifts. Would she work 24 hours at a time sometimes?
Not anymore, but she used to. Yeah, but she's there right now.
Yeah,
that's why I get to talk to you. I always am like, oh, she's working. That's great. let's talk ball for an hour and a half.
She should be. So, ladies in the chat, please chime in. Shouldn't Alex's wife be supportive of his friendship with good old Huddle It Up Films over here. I'm a good guy. I'm a good influence. I've been with my wife since 1993, y'all. You stay with a woman for 30 some years if you're a bad guy. I'm a good influence. So Miss Rachel over there should be supportive of her friend, her husband's friend over here,
No,
and
she
let him
loves
do
you,
a
man.
show every once.
Yeah, no, I'll be on as much as Jason will let me, and we'll have a good old time. It's gonna be a fun year.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. You got good influence. Your man's got a good influence in his life, and he wants to do a little football pod on Wednesday nights. Hey, you should support that. And you got him the rest of the night to yourself. So that's my message to your wife. Not that she'll listen to me, but yeah, I can't wait to have film to break down too. So with that, I want to say thank you to my football family. I love my football family. Can't wait to see y'all in here next Wednesday night. I will be getting the film. I'll be posting cut ups. If there are any cut ups you want to see, comment in this video. Check out the replay and comment. If you want to see Carson Vincent snaps, or if you want to see Teddy snaps, maybe Teddy's run defense, I will be putting stuff out on the channel. So subscribe, maybe click on the notifications or whatever all that stuff is, so you know when I release film on the channel. Alec, thank you so much for coming on.
Of course, man.
Love you guys. We'll catch y'all later, okay? Have a good night.
Football's family.